Alright, so rerolling. I won't give the 100% specifics because of the fact that global can change. It could change, and the way it works could definitely change because the Canadian reroll system was not well received in general by everyone. And I would like to give them the benefit of the doubt that certain things might change, and the main problem was the amount of time it took. So on JPNKR it took about from 7 to 10 minutes, but on Canada it took from 50 to 60 minutes per reroll. And my hope is that on global this changes. Now, another thing that sucked is that you could not delete your account, and that would require you to just basically go on guest for multiple accounts. Now, I will give a full how-to reroll guide when we actually know. But if you want to check out guides for other stuff, check them out. I'm making a bunch of global guides already. I have a tier list out. I'll put some of the important ones in the description for you guys. Now, we're going to go through how exactly it played out in Canada, and then we're going to go who you want to reroll. So I'll put timestamps for everyone. Now, you start off here. This is the main part that you're going to start off in. And for me, this was at 18:29. So about like 18 minutes into the stream I started. So let's slowly see how long it took for everything. 10 minutes in, you get a free multi that is going to guarantee you Charlotte. Now, Charlotte is an amazing SSR. I've already been over this, but she is a debuffer that allows DPSs to get extra turns when they kill an enemy with her mark debuff. And this is a very strong effect when it's tied into AoE. First of all, it's AoE, so everyone has the mark effect. And second of all, it's applied with a 60% defense reduction. So very strong skill from Charlotte. And giving her for free to everyone on a free multi, first free multi, is amazing. And of course, you could get other SRs in this multi. So to me, this is a bonus. Now, of course, the time it takes does suck. But because we're getting Charlotte for free, we like that. Now, we also get the first multi right then and there, and at that point you're able to summon on the banners that are available. So for now, we know that it's going to be the season 1 banner plus Ready On Me. If there's any others, well, that's going to be in the future, but for now, those are the two seemingly only banners, right? Now, after this, you're going to get to Chapter 1, Episode 5, and that's when on Canada, okay, on Canada, you got the 2 multis, and then you would get in Chapter 1, Episode 7, which is at the end. The way they constructed it is a lot better, I'd say, or like is better than people give it credit for, because this is when you get the reroll multi. Now, the reroll multi allows you to reset the multi 20 times and then choose the best one. And usually, you should be able to get the people you want in 20 multis. It's a guaranteed mage SSR with as many skill page SSRs as you could get if you're lucky. So you really only have to get to Chapter 1, Episode 5 to see if you want to keep the account, because of the fact that after that, I mean, Chapter 1, Episode 7 is just for the reroll multi, so usually you should not be getting shafted that bad that you can't get one of the like 5 units you may want, right? So I'd say personally, it's not good. It's not technically 50 to 60 minutes, but if you somehow get really unlucky, then it could be that long to have to reset it after not getting the person you want on this reroll multi. So yeah, you're going to get 3 multis in total, but there's also the fact that just by playing through the story, you're going to be getting a lot of crystals. So like if I just go to a random part before we're like deep in, right? If I go here, we could see already that my crystals are slowly at 1200. So you're going to be getting a lot. In total, it's 3 ticket multis, 300 crystals for the pre-registration rewards, and just a global thank you. As we saw, it was titled global thank you. So it was just an extra multi. 3 multis is pretty good, but then you consider how much story you're going to get from story along the way. So you're technically going to have 4 multis to truly reroll on the banners, which I'd say is a pretty good amount. But of course, it would be better if we're able to delete account, first of all, and second of all, if they reduce the amount of time that it takes to get it. But considering that they've changed a lot of other stuff that people have been complaining about, we could hope that this got through to them, because the reroll is not good, and someone like Vulcan, who does a lot of rerolls on just many games, if you go to his Vulcan Journey account, you could see that it's like that a lot. Now, I recommend going to Pride One if you want to see all the information in text form. But yeah, that's basically it. Now, in total, it took me, if we're counting everything, 108 from 18, so it took me about 40 minutes. We could say 45 minutes, 68, 18, so 50 minutes. Sorry, 50 minutes, pretty much exactly. So yeah, it took me 50 minutes to get to this point, but I'm sure I had the other 2 multis before. And it's mainly those 3 multis that you're rerolling for, because this reroll multi, if you can't get the person you want in those 4 multis, it'd be a bit weird, right? So as for who you want on this multi, right? Now, I'm not going to really talk about which banner units you want in this video. It's going to be a bit closer, and I do want to talk about certain things, though. Now, for this multi, what do you want? This is like the main focus of this video. Now, of course, you're able to get skill pages, which is a very good thing. I made a tier list, so I probably put it in the title. But, of course, you can reroll 20 times. And this is how the tier list is going to be looking. So, these are really your top picks, right? Now, in terms of order of who you would want, I'd probably say Lotus for grinding, especially early game. If you pair him up with Charlotte, Charlotte applies the defense lower, Lotus applies the incapacitate. So if you set the auto for different turns, where like Charlotte's skill 2 is first, and then Lotus's skill 1 is first, and then his ultimate is second, you could have it so where their debuffs are on different stages so that you could kind of rotate it in and out. And I would say Lotus is going to be very good just for everything. So your best pick is Lotus, especially for the gear stages. Now, gear stages, if we're looking at it, I only have JP open right now, so bear with me. But the gear stage that you're mainly going to be farming is going to be the red gear stage, which obviously you want to be type advantage. Type advantage is a very strong thing in this game. And the main gear sets that you're going to be farming are the speed, defense, and attack ones. So you want to get and build a blue team as quick as possible. So, of course, you're going to be going for Lotus first. That's going to be who you want to go for mainly on the reroll multi. But then after, if you want to go for Mars, then go ahead. Now, why put Radis up here is because of the fact that he's really good for PvP and PvE. And also, building a blue team is as easy also, just like to rush, you would want Lotus. But there's also the fact that you could build a full SR team and still clear LR gear like in the week, right? But the thing is, you need all 4 SRs, which might be even more like luck based than just getting Lotus. So yeah, it really depends. But Radis is not a bad option, and then William is pretty good. But out of these 4, he's probably the bottom one. And then if you want, I put the 2 greens because they are both pretty good. Fuego has a AoE, and Reroll obviously has the AoE stun, 2 AoEs that debuff. So Reroll for the green team will be pretty good. But I wouldn't really recommend. It's really if you want. Like, these are the top 4 picks. And then I'd say probably don't, especially because Fuego doesn't seem to have the buffed. Leopold doesn't seem to be buffed. And it's only hitting 3 targets. But the thing is, the way it works is that let's say you've got 3 people, right? These are your 3 people, William, Radis, and Mars. If Leopold targets Mars, he's only going to hit Mars and Radis. But if he targets Radis, he's going to hit all 3. But the bot is not always going to hit Radis, which means you're only going to hit the main one at adjacent and not William, which is why Leopold is not that great. And Sally, she's good late game, but not for rerolling. And then these 2, just please don't. And then Charlotte, I just said you get her for free, so don't go for her, right? Now, as for SRs, you would want, if we're really going into it deep, you would want the blue SRs. Now, the main ones you're going to want is Charmy, Solid, and Soul. If you get Lotus, you go for Soul. Now, the best multi you could get on this reroll is Lotus and Soul, or Mars and Solid. Solid is going to be a very good DPS because he has an AoE and a main and adjacent, plus his single target damage is good. So I'd say get either like with the SSR tank with an SR DPS, or get the SSR quote-unquote DPS with the tank, right? Because Soul completely replaces Mars. She's not as good, but she could work, right? Now, the other people you would be using would be Charmy and maybe Ghost. The full SR team is Charmy, Ghost, Soul, and Solid. That's the main team. But then, of course, Solid could be replaced by, what's it called? Lotus, Soul by Mars, Ghost by Yami on launch, or Fauna if she's there, and then Charmy by William. That's how it's going to be working, right? So if you get any of these 4 with Mars and Lotus, keep that multi. But also if you get it in any of the other 3 multis. Now, I would recommend for you guys to go on the seasonal banner. That's like the main thing I'd say for you guys to go for because of the fact it's the best. And I'd recommend going for mainly the DPS because early game it's the best. But all 3 of these guys will be good. Blue Yami is like good only early game. Red Asta will be good for PvP. He and Mimosa are the 2 best for PvP. Blue Yami's going to be good early game, like account building because of the fact that he's a blue SSR DPS, and there's not really a better one on launch. Fauna comes out 2 weeks later, and I would not recommend summoning on that banner because Veto is with her in the dual banner, and Veto is not that good, right? So Blue Yami, I would say pick, and then Red Asta try to go for. That's like how I'd go for it. Or the opposite, especially if you want to push, go for Blue Yami and then pick Red Asta. I'd say, you know what, that's probably better. Try to pull Blue Yami on your like 4 reroll multis if we're counting the crystals you get along the way from story, and then pick Red Asta. That's how I'd go for it. Mimosa is the most long term, but I'd say it's probably the best to go for that type of team, right? Red Yami is cool, he's fun, he's usable, but he's not needed, especially because Red Asta with Charlotte is a nasty PvE combo. So yeah, this is who I recommend, mainly Lotus and Mars, and then if you want Radis and William, you could go ahead, but Lotus and Mars are definitely my top picks for you guys. And hopefully it makes sense. If you want to check out the reroll, go to the English Black Clover Mobile's finally out time to play live stream. It's going to be in the live section. You will see it right here, right? So it's this one. And you could check the whole reroll process for yourself. But I do not want to bore you with that. It does take quite a while. And there's no point really going into the tedious work. Now, if you really want to go, I would say, of course, let me rephrase. You want to get one of the two blue SSRs that I mentioned, Mars or Lotus, with the SR. So this is a perfect multi, right? Because I get Mars with solid. Like, I lucked out so well. Plus, I got a defense skill page for Mars. I could not have gotten luckier in my luck. I get a DPS for the grinding. I have Mars, and then I have a defensive skill page for Mars. So it's great. It's really great. Could not have gotten luckier. This is the multi you want, okay? So with that said, I'm done. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I will be making another more in-depth, like how to actually reroll, see what the changes are, guide in the future. But for now, this is it. I'll see you guys in the next one, and peace.